Hello, eager young minds! Ngayon ay nasa second quarter na po tayo. Okay, and this is the lesson for week number 1. Expressing one value as a fraction of another, given their ratio and vice versa. Okay, let's start. Okay, first, ratio is a way of comparing two or more quantities having the same units or the same classification. So, ang ratio ay pagkukumpara lang ng dalawang bilang or dalawang quantity na merong magkaparehas ng unit or magkaparehas ng classification. Let us take an example. You can write the ratio of A and B in 3 different ways. Una, pwede mong isulat ang ratio in word form, kung saan the ratio of, if you are going to compare A and B, pwede mo siyang isulat as A is to B. Okay? The second way of writing the ratio is colon form naman. First is word form, pangalawa ay colon form, kung saan pwede mo siyang isulat as A, and then the symbol for colon, and then B. Ang pagbabasa din yan is just A is to B. Okay. And the third way of writing ratio is fraction form, kung saan pwede mo siyang isulat naman into fraction form, that is A is to B. Pag binasa mo yan, A is to B pa rin yan. Okay. Important. Always write the ratio in its lowest term. So, sabi, kailangan daw ang ratio ay laging naka-lowest terms. So, isi-simplify lagi ang ratio. Okay. Example number 1. This is from your module. Compare the number of circles to triangles and vice versa. Kukumpara natin ngayon ang bilang ng circles at ang bilang ng triangles. Okay, first, let us compare the number of circles to triangles. Remember, it is very important that the order of ratio is correct. Kung anong unang hinahanap, yun ang unang isusulat. Okay, in word form, okay, pwede nating isulat yan kasi ang hinahanap na ratio ay ang ratio of circles to triangles. Unang isusulat natin ay ang number of circles, that is 12. And then, the number of triangles, that is 6. Kaya in word form, that is just 12 is to 6. In colon form naman, ganun pa rin. Unang isulat ang circles and then the triangles. And syempre, with the symbol for colon. Pero pag binasa mo yan, that is also 12 is to 6. And of course, in fraction form, syempre, ang numerator natin ay yung unang hinahanap, which is the number of circles, that is 12. And then, ang denominator natin ay ang pangalawang bilang kung saan the number of triangles, that is 6 naman. Okay? So, we have written already the ratio of circles to triangles in 3 ways. Word form, colon form, and then fraction form. How about the ratio of triangles to circles? Again, it is very important that the order of ratio is correct. Kailangan kung anong unang hinahanap, yun ang unang sinusulat. Kaya naman, in word form, the ratio of triangles to circles is just 6 is to 12. Unang sinulat ang bilang ng triangles, 6. Ang pangalawang isulat ang bilang naman ng circles, that is 12. And in colon form, of course, that is just 6, and then the symbol for colon, and then 12. Pero pag binasa mo, that is also 12 is to, or 6 is to 12 din lang yan. And of course, in fraction form, that is also can be written as 6 is to 12 lang yan. Okay, important, make sure that the order of ratio is correct. Dapat laging tama. At syempre, sabi dun kanina natin na kailangan ang ating ratio should always be written in its lowest term. Kung kaya naman, kuhanin natin ang greatest common factor ng numerator at denominator, okay, ng ating dalawang quantity para makuha natin ang kanyang lowest term. Kung saan, the GCF of 12 and 6 is just 6. 12 is divisible by 6 and then 6 is divisible by 6. Kaya 12 divided by 6 is 2 and then 6 divided by 6 is 1. Okay. Okay, dito naman sa ating ratio of triangles to circles, ganun pa rin. Get the greatest common factor is that is 6. Ang 6 pwedeng i-divide sa 6 and then 12 is pwedeng i-divide sa 6 din. 6 divided by 12 is 1 and then 12 divided by 6 is just 2. That is why in lowest term, the ratio of circles to triangles is 2 is to 1. And in lowest term, the ratio of triangles to circles is just 1 is to 2. Okay? Now, learning task 1. Write a ratio of the following in 3 ways. Okay, subukan natin. Okay, let us try this one. the ratio of pentagon to triangles naman. Okay, alamin muna natin ang bilang ng pentagon. Pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 10. And then the triangles is just 8 naman. Kaya naman, sabi natin kanina, a ratio should always be written in its lowest term. Kaya kuhanin agad natin, bago tayo magsagot dito sa ating 3 ways, kuhanin muna natin ang lowest term ng ating ratio. Okay, hanapin natin ang GCF ng 10 at 8. So that is just 2. That is just 2. Kaya naman, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So in fraction form pala, the ratio of pentagon to triangles is just 5 is to 4. Okay, and in column form, that is also 5 is to 4 with the symbol of colon, of course. And then in word form, that is just 5 is to 4 also na merong word na is to. Okay, so yan lang. Next. Okay, ngayon pag-usapan natin ang rate. Okay, rate is a special ratio that is the comparison naman of two quantities but may have different units of measure or classification. Tandaan, ang rate ay merong magkaibang units of measure at magkaiba ng classification. And sa pagsusulat ng kanyang ratio, the ratio has a unit of measure. Okay. Sample, 36 apples to 18 children. Okay. Itong ratio na to ay isang rate dahil ang pinagkukumpara ay apples at saka children. Magkaiba ng classification. That is why this kind of special ratio is called rate. Yan. Another example, 350 kilometers compared to 6 hours. Kung makikita ninyo, magkaiba ng unit yan. Kilometers, unit of distance, and then hours, unit of time. Kung kaya naman, itong special ratio na to, ang tawag natin dyan ay rate. Okay? Example. Sample number 5. This is from your module. Rome scored 180 points in 5 basketball games. Find the average rate per game. So, hinahanap natin ang rate. Rate ang hinahanap niya. Bakit? Kasi naman, kung makikita ninyo, ang ipagkukumpara natin, 180 points and then 5 basketball games. Puntos at saka number ng laro. Magkaiba ng classification. Okay. So, the rate is 180 points is to 5 games. Sabi natin kanina, the rate or ratio should always be written in its lowest term. Kaya hanapin agad natin yung greatest common factor ng 180 at 5. So, anong number ang pwedeng i-divide sa 180 na pwede rin i-divide sa 5? Yung pinakamalaking numero. So, that is 5. Okay, and this is 5 also. So, 180 divided by 5, okay, that is 36, and then 5 divided by 5, that is 1. Kung kaya naman, the lowest term of our rate, 180 points is to 5 games, is just 36 points is to 1 game. Or, rate can also be written like this, 36 points per game. Okay, so ganun. Okay, another one. Learning task 2. Write a ratio of the following in 3 ways pa rin. Okay, tingnan natin. I have here 6 weeks to 12 days. So, itong kukuhanin natin. The ratio in 3 ways of 6 weeks to 12 days. But remember, if possible, change the quantities into the same unit. Kung pwedeng i-convert yung isang quantity para sila ay magkaroon ng katulad na unit, gagawin natin yan. So, kung makikita natin, 6 weeks or the weeks ay pwede mong gawing days yan. Okay? So, i-convert mo siya. So, ilang days ang 6 weeks? So, i-multiply mo lang yan sa 7. So, that is now 42 days is to 12 days. Para sa sila ng unit. 42 days na to. Okay? Okay? And then, ito naman, 12. This is days pa rin. Okay. So, yon. Ngayong magkaparehas na sila ng unit, pwede mo na ngayong i-lowest term yan. So, kuhanin natin yung greatest common factor ng dalawa, 42 is to 12. Kaya naman, the ratio now in lowest term is just 7 is to 2. Paano na ginuha? Dinivide natin yung dalawa sa kanilang greatest common factor na 6. 42 divided by 6 is 7, and then 12 divided by 6 is 2. So, in fraction form, that is 7 is to 2. Okay? In a column form, that is 7 is to 2. And of course, in word form, that is also 7 is to 2. Okay? So, ganun lang. Okay, another one. 24 girls is to 16 boys. Okay, kung makikita ninyo, ang quantity na yan, okay, ang unit nila ay hindi naman pwedeng i-convert na. Hindi mo pwedeng baguhin na para magkapareha sila ng units. Kaya naman, isusulat na natin directly ang ating ratio, that is 24 is to 16, and isi-simplify natin, or the lowest term natin, kaya siya magiging 3 is to 2. Paano nangyari? Kuhanin yung greatest common factor ng 24 at 16, that is just 8. Okay, 24 is divisible by 8, 16 is divisible by 8, 24 divided by 8 is 3, and then 16 divided by 8 is 2. So in fraction form, the ratio of 24 girls is to 16 boys is 3 is to 2. In column form, that is 3 is to 2. And then in word form, that is also 3 is to 2. Okay. Now, let's proceed. Writing equivalent ratio to a given ratio naman. Okay. Example number 4. Express the equivalent ratio of 2/4. Okay. So, meron tayo ditong ratio. 2 is to 4. Okay? 2 is to 4 ang ratio natin. Pagkuha ng equivalent ratio, pwede mo lang siyang i-multiply into numbers or quantities. Halimbawa ito. Okay. First equivalent ratio of 2 is to 4, i-multiply natin sa 2. That is 2 times 2, lahat ng quantity ha. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. And then, 2 times 4 is 8. Kaya ang first equivalent ratio ng 2 is to 4 is just 4 is to 8. Okay? Okay. Okay. Pwede naman natin siya i-multiply sa 3. That is 3 times 2, that is 6. And then 3 times 4, that is also 12. Kaya the second equivalent ratio ay 6 is to 12. Okay. Pwede naman natin i-multiply sa 4. 4 times 2, that is just 8. And then 4 times 4, that is 16. So the third equivalent ratio is 8 is to 16. Pwede natin i-multiply sa 5. That is 5 times 2 is 10. And then 5 times 4 is 20. Kung kaya naman, our fourth equivalent ratio is just 10 is to 20. And so on and so forth yan. Pwedeng kahit anong number, basta kung anong minultiply mo sa numerator, ganun din ang gagawin mo sa denominator. Okay, learning task 3. Write at least 3 equivalent ratio of the given ratio. So, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin. Okay, 5 is to 10. First, multiply by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And then, 2 times 10 is just 20. So, the first equivalent ratio is 10 is to 20. Next one, let us multiply by 3. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15. And then, 10 times 3 is 30. So, our second equivalent ratio is 15 is to 30. Let us multiply by 4. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20. And then, 10 times 4 is 40. Our third equivalent ratio is 20 is to 40. And so on and so forth yan. Okay. Okay, so yun lang. Salamat muli sa inyong lahat. Sana may natutunan uli. And don't forget to subscribe.